Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. I got the wife with me.
Hello.
And she's wearing a small white hat. You look like an Amish lady.
I was going for Smurf.
We're talking about insider trading. People going into politics and they're worth $100,000, $80,000, $30,000, and they're leaving. Or not even leaving, but then they become worth $100 million, $25 million, $200 million in some of these cases. I can't wait for you guys to see this. But we got Joe Rogan. He's speaking with Crystal Ball and Sagar and Jetty. I believe that's his name. I know most of you don't like Crystal Ball. I understand completely. But hear me out. It's a great clip. They're talking about insider trading. Let's get right into it. Don't forget about IamCoachColin.com. We got Sold Not For Sale. And we got Sold Not For Sale. And we got this one coming very, very soon. Discount code is IamCoachColin. All capital letters, all one word. 1 L in the name Colin. Let's get into it.
On hundreds of millions of dollars because they bought in very early. So shout out to those guys. On the other, look, at the end of the day, systems can change if enough people actually want to do something about it.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the stock market ban. I think that's actually probably step one. If we get to the point where we can just ban members of Congress from trading stocks, the institutional trust I think that we could all then have within the system, just at a baseline level, it would help a lot. It would help a lot to be able to get that. But of course, Nancy Pelosi is the speaker. She says, what was it? Wait, so we live in a free market economy. We're allowed to participate.
I
she
think
walks
we should
that
be
back.
able to participate. Well, when she said that, like pushed the microphone.
Yeah.
Walked off the stage.
Your
I was
Nancy
like,
Pelosi impression is pretty good.
That was wild. When she just walked off the stage, I'm like, that is wild.
I mean, she's not the only one, though. I mean, there's it's a completely bipartisan issue.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of these guys, and they'll claim, they're like, look, I don't have any inside information. I'm like, look, motherfucker, you're guilty. Like, you got to prove that you're innocent.
Honestly, I mean, listen, they do. And like, obviously, these are not geniuses. And they're all like beating the market and beating people who are expert at this and whatever.
George Soros and Warren Buffett are not as good as Paul Pelosi.
Oh, wow.
He's better. He's better at trading.
He's just an
You see the
amazing
Google
trader. It has
trade
nothing
just
to
the
do
other day.
with.
Right before the antitrust suit was filed, it sold like $3 million. And once again, you're just never going to convince me that you didn't know about that. Like, you're just not going to.
Yeah, but
she knew.
Okay,
they knew.
let's theoretically say, all right, we believe it. Like they didn't use their inside information. It almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Because ultimately, the bottom line is people fucking think that you use your information and are benefiting from it. And by the way, when you look overall, like you could look at any individual trade and be like, oh, maybe not, who knows. But when you look at the numbers overall and you're like, all you motherfuckers are beating the market, fucking
How is that possible?
way.
Unusual.
And if you
Not a
look at the
chance.
actual speculation, the actual
trades.
sales and trades, they fucking know. They know something.
And they're not doing anything about it. Unusual Whales, shout out to him. He's really one of the guys who sparked this whole movement.
Who is Unusual Whales?
He's like an anonymous Twitter account, and he's one of the first people who actually
Independent
published.
journalist type.
He
but
published
uses
the
Twitter.
first trading. This was like 2021, maybe 2020 actually. We're some of the first people who actually picked it up originally about the congressional trading numbers. And we went through the exact Senate, and he loops it all together as an institution and the way that it was able to beat the market consistently year after year after. And this is all publicly available data. Shout out to him. He's a great dude.
Yeah, definitely give him a follow. He's really
he does really good work. And
it's
you
a
can actually
lot.
see it all right there. The full trading report on politicians in 2022. And again, totally bipartisan. We got Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Patrick Fallon, Susie Lee, David Joyce, Gary Peters. All look at the blue and the red there, all within the graph. And you can even see, like, look, it's everybody, like from all across the board, people who are supposedly against the system, people who are totally within the system. And that's what makes it so disgusting. We have got to ban this. Like
19.8%. What does that mean?
Well, she was down 19.8%. Well, and that's the other thing with Paul Pelosi. The guy is extraordinarily leveraged. Like he's always trading options. He's not even just buying and selling individual stocks. He's making much larger bets on these things. I mean, he's got $100 million in access to shit you and I don't have. But
wait, Debbie Wasserman Schultz at the top there.
Yeah, she's got
doing
a nice little
Patrick
portfolio
Fallon,
return.
I don't even know who that is.
51% on year over year in 2022,
nothing
which
to see
is
here.
crazy. I mean, if you compare that to the S&P 500, I'd actually be curious what the 2022 S&P. Yeah, there you go. So S&P 500 is down 18%. Look at every single one of these individual members who are able to have portfolios which are beating the total market. This is outrageous.
Pelosi's off her game though.
Yeah,
Look at
she's
that.
actually off her game.
Yeah.
Seems like they threw it just because everybody was onto their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking threw
But
it.
look at the red and blue.
Exactly.
It's bipartisan.
Yeah,
100%.
completely. And the top is
100%.
red.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is like a story of like hope, and it's very depressing because there was a whole grassroots movement to be like bipartisan. The Republicans were pissed off about Pelosi and Democrats were pissed off about the Republicans. Like everybody was like, all right, this is fucked up, right? Any thinking person who cares about the country would be like, this is fucked up. Why are we doing this? And so then because there's this organic movement, you see actually some people in the mainstream press start to cover it. There was actually a reporter at Insider. They started digging into the details of these trades and compiling reports. that leads to that, when you're talking about Nancy Pelosi at that press conference, that leads to her actually getting asked a question about it. And wasn't it incredibly revealing, her response in that moment? That leads to a backlash. Kevin McCarthy sees an opportunity with Republicans about to take it. He starts posturing like, oh, if Republicans take the House, we're going to do the stock ban. Of course, they haven't said shit about that since then. Pelosi actually feels some pressure, like, all right, we're going to try a thing. And they sort of like poison pill that to make sure it doesn't happen too. And that's where it's a mixed bag, because you're like, all right, we got it on the menu. There was a lot of pressure. Politicians heard it. They had to do something. But then both parties, again, found ways to just completely, let the issue slide and not actually have to change anything.
That is an independent media story, though, because that's one of those where that guy published it. We started talking. This is not just us. This is a lot of people. Dave Portnoy, there's a lot of other people out there who've talked about it. A lot of independent media, people like you, have also brought it up. That kind of put it in the pop culture conversation. You got TikTokers out there doing Pelosi trades. Like, they have huge accounts where Gen Z and millennials are totally bought into how corrupt the system is. That floats upward with the outrage. Insider picks it up. And President Biden actually originally had a line in his State of the Union just last year where he was going to endorse a congressional stock trading ban. The line was pulled at the very last minute.
Of all the things, you listen to their State of the Union, it's like a laundry list of checking the box on every fucking thing.
25 check boxes.
And that's the line. That's the line that gets pulled. Amazing, right?
At whose request? That's a great question. I would love for somebody in the press to dig into that.
And Biden, to his credit, when he was a senator, he actually had a personal rule for himself. He did not engage in this. He did not buy and sell stock. So he would actually have a place of moral authority to say, like, let's not do this anymore. But somebody got to him.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a real corruption story.
Dirty business.
Yeah. Well, and again, like Republican, all these people, like the Republican holdouts or Kevin McCarthy posturing like populist or whatever. This was not one of the demands that they made of like, let's get stock.
Should have made that demand.
They should have made it, but there's a reason why they didn't. And like I said,
more public outrage.
We're talking about it right now. Maybe it'll help. Honestly,
there you go.
There's a lot of Republican lawmakers who are obsessed with the JRE. Maybe they'll listen to this.
There you go. Boy. Make your pitch. I mean, and like I said, McCarthy, he brought it up at a moment when he thought it would serve him politically, but then the moment he actually got the gavel and took power, nothing.
That's a key to getting what you want in politics, though. That's, look, these people, they're never going to do anything because it's the right thing. You got to force them to do it so that it's politically advantageous. And look, there's actually a lot of room for some politician out there. Originally, I think it was John Ossoff, the senator from Georgia. He's a young guy. He's like 30-something. He's like maybe like 37, relatively young. I guarantee you, he's pretty online from what I can tell. He was the one who caught this. He goes, I'll just introduce a bill to ban this. He got a ton of good press for being the first senator to actually propose a ban. So we need to make it and create a system where right now it's politically advantageous to sell out to K Street, which is the lobbyists. That's where they all sell out to big business, Wall Street, military industrial complex, any of these people. I think what I would love to do, and it's one of the aims of the show, was creating and rise with independent media and working with everybody, is to create an alternate system where you get rewarded for. We had a big conversation about Ukraine. Just let one politician say it. Right now, we've had like maybe two who've ever raised any questions. Rand Paul was one of the old people. He goes, I'm not going to even vote against the aid for Ukraine. Let's just have an auditor to make sure that it's all being spent right.
An inspector general.
Yeah. Nothing. They don't even vote for that.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, what did we just talk about? Zelensky just fired like half of his cabinet for corruption allegations. Who do you think's paying the cabinet? Who's paying all the bills? We're literally balancing their budget. The United States Congress is. Which is like, their economy is completely propped up by the United States.
And it might lead us to World War III.
That's possible. It's certainly possible.
But when we were talking about Ukraine, one of the things that I wanted to bring up that I didn't is there a solution? Like, if we're not going to donate tanks and missiles and jets, what is the rational solution? Is
no more money. That's the rational solution.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And let them get along with Russia. I've met a lot of Ukrainian people, and then when I hear them speak, because I know a lot of Russian people, I'm like, that's the same language. You're Russian, right? They're like, no, I'm Ukrainian. I'm like, okay, cool. Eat the same food? All right. Just get back together, guys. It's okay. But you can't have that. That'd be really bad. I guess.
Supposedly.
Yeah. It's a complete it's like a you know how they say shit show? It's like a shadow show over there. You have no idea what's good, what's bad, who's doing what, Especially after that episode we did about how Ukraine was looked at just a few years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Versus how it's looked at today, and it's like they were talking about them like they were Russia.
Yeah. Just
a few years ago. And now all of a sudden I don't know what happened. People change, I guess. Countries can change too.
In 2 years.
Yeah. So let's get into the insider trading. I just want to start it off right away because you haven't seen Nancy Pelosi, and we're going to start it off with the video that actually sparked this conversation in our minds. Let's go with Nancy Pelosi first. They were talking about Nancy Pelosi getting confronted, and this is actually what happened. So she's about to get asked the question. Here, listen.
In the course of your career, has your husband ever made a stock purchase or sale based on information he received from you?
No, absolutely not. Okay, thank you.
Hold on.
He asked.
He said, "Has your husband ever made like a stock, like a decision based on information you've given him?"
Oh.
And she's like,
absolutely not. And pushes the mic away.
Yeah, she's just like when I end an episode, she's like, "And we're out, guys. Bye." But yeah, she. What's wild is as you're listening to that clip, and let's go to the next clip right here. But as you're listening to that clip of Sagar and Crystal and Joe talking, it seems so apparent what's going on, and no one can stop it.
True.
It's like he was like going into the ins and outs of it and everything,
Yeah.
and people trying to stop it, and nothing happens. And this guy says he's going to stop it, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy.
It's wild.
It's a really weird thing because it kind of shows that everything's been seized, like Congress, the House, like the government has been seized by money, by the ability to make these trades and get this money and regulate certain industries and be invested in those industries. And
Yeah.
it's like completely seized. And if there was a ban, again, goes back to my regular guy idea, just have it be regular people and we'd be good. We'd be in a good place. I'm telling you, just let it be regular people who can't trade stocks and you're done.
Yeah.
That's it. But they'd figure out a way. You'd like tell a friend or something, you know?
Yeah.
You'd get like a guy, you'd have like a surrogate investor.
Well, that's exactly like Nancy Pelosi and her husband.
But true, but that's so close.
Yeah. It's very obvious.
I'm talking about you'd have to like find a guy and be like, hey,
Yeah.
how about you and I? You'd like pick him up at a bar. He would like think like, what's going on with you? I just need you to make some trades for me, man.
That'd be so crazy.
I'll make us both rich. But here's the clip that actually sparked this whole thing. And the most telling part of this clip is the end as they talk about President Trump. Let's get into it.
Last 6 presidents comparing their net worth before and after their time in office. At number 6, you have Ronald Reagan, who was worth around $10 million before taking office and then about $15 million after. Next, you have George H.W. Bush, who was worth around $4 million before and then $23 million after. Then you have Bill Clinton, who came into office being worth around $1.3 million, but he left the White House with a stunning $241.5 million net worth. Next, you have George W. Bush, who came into office being worth around $24 million and then left office being worth around $40 million. Then you have Barack Obama, who was worth around $1.3 million before, and he left office with a net worth of around $70 million. And then lastly, you have Donald Trump, who came into office with a net worth of around $3.7 billion, but left with a net worth of around $2.5 billion. Now, let me ask you, out of all those presidents, why do you think President Trump was the only one to actually lose money while serving in the White House? Here's a list of the last 6 presidents.
That's wild.
Yeah. Interesting, eh?
Lost money.
Bill Clinton was the insane one.
Of course, he's a wild
$1 million
boy.
to 241.
Everybody knows he's a wild boy.
Oh, that's so crazy.
It's come out a multitude of times that Bill Clinton is a wild boy. So if anybody's gonna make hundreds of millions of dollars,
Oh my gosh,
leaving the way, it's gonna be him.
Yeah.
And you know, one episode with someone named I think it was Michael Malice. He was on JRE, and he was actually talking about how when they left office, the Clintons, they took the furniture.
Yes, and the W's from the keyboards.
Yeah.
Because George W. Bush was next.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It's so funny.
And they actually had to, like, people got it back.
Yeah.
They had to come back and be like, hey, you stole furniture.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have things that Abe Lincoln sat on. You have to give it back.
That's so funny.
Isn't that wild?
The W's is the craziest.
Wow. So, yeah, that was what sparked our interest in this whole topic. Just thinking of presidents, how they go in, how they come out.
Yeah.
You know, usually people talk about the gray hair that they have and things of that nature, but they also leave with tons of money.
Yeah, and how Trump lost money.
Yeah. Kind of shows something. And there was another clip. I can't find it, but we were talking. It was at night. And I guess it was like, we're going to be going to bed or whatever. But I found that article or clip or whatever. And it was talking about Trump how he was talking about being president in the 80s.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was talking about foreign policy and things he would do.
Yeah.
And who he would go after and
I
what
think it was
he
like
would do.
1987 or something.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, literally how many years later, he actually becomes president. And he's doing all the things he said he would do.
Yeah.
And you brought up the point. You're like, people think he just decided randomly. But
To
he's
be president.
Yeah, but he's been thinking about this for a very long time.
Yeah.
Which was very surprising. And willing to lose money.
Yeah. Because he didn't accept like a salary or anything either.
No.
I think it was like $1 or something he accepted.
Yeah. He didn't want anything.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm doing this for the country.
And it's not like the presidential salary is only like $400,000.
Yeah, like $450.
Like it's not as much as it should be, but showing from what they're making from outside deals, it's enough.
Yeah, I'm sure all those presidents agree with you. That's not enough.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? This is all I'm getting? This is it?
It seems like it's not enough. There was one president, like historically, I want to say Harry Truman. I'll have to look it up. I have it in one of my things. But basically, he was so in debt when he became president that they had to double his salary.
Wow.
Just to like keep him out of the hot water.
Wow. Somebody to like try and break his legs or something.
Yeah. He had some like hat business or something that failed.
Wow.
One of the like older guys.
That's interesting. But
yeah, Harry Truman.
Just it was him, eh? But just that whole thing of just presidents coming in worth one thing, leaving completely different, absolutely rich. We're seeing the same thing in Congress, same thing with the senators. So we just decided to look into that a lot deeper. And the numbers are crazy. Well, okay, we'll get into it. Because the guy who proposed the Restrict Act, oh my gosh, how much money this guy's worth. You didn't even know about the Restrict Act, but yeah, we'll go into that after. But I can't believe it. So where do you want to start?
With the first, it was a Yahoo Finance.
Okay, let me pull that up.
Slideshow of the 25 richest U.S. politicians.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. To bring up, I have such an issue with that. To be like, I think the Restrict Act's a good idea, and you're worth this much money is crazy to me.
Yeah,
is so crazy to me. All right, who's number one? Let's start, or like they're starting at the bottom.
I think
here?
they go backwards.
Yeah, let's go.
Do you want to like skip ahead a bunch?
I don't care.
Okay,
they're all rich.
I don't know most of these people. Yeah, they all like the least rich on this list.
Yeah,
is like $27 million.
Yeah, 26.8.
Yeah,
Oklahoma rep Kevin Hearn, Republican, and that's a good point that Crystal Ball came up with. So not her name. It can't be her name. Her name can't be Crystal Ball.
Yeah, that's dumb.
But that's like having your name be like Truth Teller.
Yeah,
I'm Truth Teller.
It reminds me of those like Bart Simpson like prank calls.
Yeah.
Like Seymour Butts.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's just so interesting what she said. It's bipartisan.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the red and the blue, it's like it really is. So let's go here. Who's this one? Oh, this is Kathy
Manning.
Kathy
North
Manning.
Carolina.
What's she at in terms of money?
27.2 million.
Democrat.
Yeah.
What's she a rep for? North Carolina.
North Carolina.
6th congressional district. They're all so and again, these are the lower end.
Yeah.
They're all so invested in this. Who's this? This is Don Bayer.
Yeah.
Virginia rep.
29.8
million. Democrat. We're going to go Maryland rep. What is this? David Trone. 32.9 million. Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead with the names.
Jay Obernolte. 39.3 million. Republican from California.
Of course.
And then we have Vern Buchanan, $44 million, Republican from Florida.
Wow. Next
is Susan Delbene from Washington. She's worth $52.2 million.
Now this
She's
is
Democratic.
This is one that I read that I think it's her. She was actually a employee of Microsoft.
Yeah, she's an executive. Was an executive at Microsoft.
So she could have made her money via that.
For sure. And some of them absolutely are going to come from that.
come from other ways of making money.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, let's go to the next one. The thing about it is, it's Texas Senator Roger Williams, Republican. How much money there?
67.4 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who is this?
This is Doris O. Matsui.
Huh.
Matsu.
How much?
74 million.
Democrat.
Yeah. Most of her money comes from her husband, who is a founder of a big company.
What company?
It says AES Corporation. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Her husband is Roger Sant.
And she's a member of Energy, Climate, and Grid Security.
Uh-huh.
I bet his company has something to do with that.
Energy? That'd be crazy.
Could
That'd
you
be
imagine?
so bad. And then we have Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal.
Allegedly. Everything we're saying is alleged.
Who's worth 85 million, and he's a Democrat.
Wow.
And then there's, they were talking about this lady.
The late Dianne Feinstein.
Yep, 110 million.
She just passed away just like a month or two ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was to the point where she couldn't walk. She's like in a wheelchair.
Oh, jeez.
And the vote is coming in, and she's sitting there. She's like, what? And her aide is beside her. Just vote yay. Vote yay.
Oh, no.
Say yay. Just telling her what to say.
That's crazy.
She didn't even, her last vote, she didn't even vote.
Wow.
These like deep state people behind her were the ones that voted. So wild. 110 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Democrat.
And then good old Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy.
$120 million. I think that's conservative.
Yeah.
That amount. I think it's more like,
Yeah.
from what I read, it was like 140 something.
Yeah. She's up there.
Yeah.
She's up there.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wild. And then you wonder, you're like, why don't these people retire? It's like, why would I retire?
Yeah, she keeps making money.
I make money like I'm Taylor Swift.
But also she's like 80. So at that point, like, why wouldn't you want to just go spend it?
No, they want
Like
more.
they're just like collecting it and like hoarding it like little squirrels.
Yeah, it is odd.
Like, why? Like, that's not fun.
I don't know. Maybe they know something we don't.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Take it with them.
Yeah, right. 135.
Yeah, this is Montana Governor
$135 million.
Greg John Fort.
People, we're just halfway and we're already in the 9 figures. Like, what? Next guy.
Next guy is Texas Representative Michael McCall. He is Republican though.
Yeah.
Worth $200 million.
I believe he had something with Trump going on.
Like some beef or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some kind of issue. Look at that, $200 million.
And it says he served as chief of counterterrorism and national security.
Good Lord.
What do you bet he's has like stocks in?
Lockheed Martin.
Something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Also, like contributors, because when I go through a lot of these people, like I was going through Lindsey Graham's especially, that's one of his top contributors as of 2022. I believe it was like the Jewish Republican Coalition was number 1 for Lindsey Graham, and then number 2 was Lockheed Martin.
Really?
Yeah.
That's scary.
And then you wonder, like, I know you haven't been on the episodes where I talk about it, but then you wonder why Lindsey Graham is like so invested in war. Because he was like the first guy. He's like, we should just go and blow up some oil tankers in Iran.
What?
So they know we're serious. It's like,
that's crazy.
Are you talking about World War III?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? He's like, yeah.
Huh.
But not married, no kids, just making a whole bunch of money. He has no investment in the country.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Anybody's life. He doesn't care about what happens.
Wow.
It's weird.
That's crazy.
It's weird that someone like that can be in these positions to be making decisions.
Yeah.
To get on Fox or get on whatever network he was on and be like, we should blow this up. Like, what? He was also the guy that was with Zelensky, and they were talking about, a lot of people say this quote was taken out of context. I've seen the whole clip. It was not taken out of context. He's sitting with Zelensky, and he's talking, Zelensky's being like thankful for the money and everything, and Lindsey Graham says, best money we ever spent, and he's just talking about, Zelensky starts talking about how, Ukraine will be free, and he's like, and the Russians are dying. Like, he's just like
proud of it.
Yeah, he's just like really hungry for war.
And it's destruction.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's not good.
Go ahead here.
The next guy is from California, Representative Scott Peters. He's a Democrat worth $200 million. And what I found interesting about this one is it says he got his start as an environmental lawyer. And those guys don't make a lot of money.
No.
And then went to San Diego City Council. Again, probably not a lot of money. And then it says his wealth is largely from venture capital investing. So he has done some stuff, I feel like.
Well,
you don't get to 200 million being an environmental lawyer.
Well, listen, put him aside. Just put X person, anybody who's in that position. Let's say you're really good at it.
Yeah.
And you're about to like blow something right off the lid that nobody knows about. You're about to blow the whistle on some stuff, and you're about to really go after whatever company. They might just be like, hey, man, let's not do this.
Yeah.
Let's do something else instead.
It's true.
You guys don't make a lot of money, you know?
I think it said...
but he also could have married rich.
Possible.
Just in his case.
Members of Congress make it's like $174,000 a year.
Yep. Now this guy, the gentleman who proposed the Restrict Act, Mark Warner, got support from Lindsey Graham on the Restrict Act. Lindsey Graham was questioned about the act. Lindsey Graham was like, is that what it says? I haven't got a chance to... Yeah, he
endorsed it.
Yeah. He was on Fox, and he was with
a dummy.
He was getting interviewed by Jesse Waters, and Jesse Waters was like, Senator, have you read this? He's like, because this is garbage. You can't... He's like, well, if you're telling me it says this.
Oh my gosh.
It was so weird.
That's so embarrassing.
Very embarrassing. But Lindsey doesn't care. He doesn't care. He has
so
no wife,
crazy.
no kids to be ashamed in front of.
But how is he still in office?
Because
if he does things that embarrassing.
You can look at his contributions, and it's like this little flat line, and then it hits like 2018, 2020, and it jumps up to like $100 million.
That's crazy.
He started playing ball.
I guess.
Started playing ball. This guy looks sinister.
He does look sinister. This is Senator Rick Scott from Florida, Republican, worth $300 million.
Look at that.
He was a CEO of a healthcare company.
We're not even in the 20s, guys. Let's just Mitt Romney.
Yeah, Mitt Romney, $300 million, Republican from Utah.
Okay, next one.
Is Glenn Youngkin. That's a funny last name.
Glenn Youngkin.
$400 million from Virginia, Republican.
Million. Wow. Let's keep going.
And then we have from Colorado, this is Governor Jared Polis, $400 million again. Democratic.
Yeah, next.
And then there's West Virginia Governor Jim Justice, that's a name, $450 million, Republican.
Crazy.
And then this guy here is Darrell Issa, who's $460 million net worth, and he is Republican from California.
Wow.
And then we have Governor Doug Burgum, worth $1.1 billion.
Wow.
From North Dakota. He's a Republican.
Jeez.
And then, good old Trump.
There he is.
This one's annoying because it says candidate for presidential nomination. It doesn't list him as
the former
president of the United States.
Yeah, no.
$2 billion is what they have him listed at, but I think that's...
It's more.
Yeah. I think it's more like 2.3 or 2.6 now, something like that.
Something
it's climbing back up.
Yeah.
And then the very last one, this guy's even richer than Trump, is Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, worth $3.4 billion, Democratic.
Wild.
He's the heir to the Hyatt hotel chains.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. It's just, the reason I wanted to go through each one of those is because it just shows, again, going back to my regular guy idea. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I'm drinking these electrolytes. It's absolutely terrible. It's bone broth and electrolytes.
Ew.
Sorry, I'm trying to fast and stuff. But it shows that, instead of regular people who have to go back into society, because I really do think that's a key thing for people who are going to lead. You have to be in society, not just for photo ops and staged appearances and stuff like that, but actually you have to live amongst the people. It's a bunch of massively wealthy people making the decisions.
Yeah.
Massively wealthy.
Yeah.
Billionaires.
In one of the articles I read, it said the median income for Congress, median net worth is above $1 million.
Yes.
Which is insane.
Each one of them.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why these younger people are like willing to play ball and they're willing to just pick a side and just dig their feet in.
Start.
Because they know.
Yeah.
They're like, by the time I'm 50, I could be worth $100 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
And I'm just saying, yeah, they shouldn't be the ones making the decisions. That's just me. Yeah. Maybe some people think they do. Some people have this notion that if people make a lot of money, they should be good with making decisions. But I don't think that's true.
No.
Because they're not, when you have a lot of money, you're not exactly good at making decisions for everybody. You've kind of along the way been making these decisions for yourself and not caring about other people.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That's why you could look at Trump and say that, but then all of a sudden when you see he lost like $1 billion, you're like, oh, okay. So I guess this guy was making decisions for other people. Because he could have just been like, net worth $50 billion. He could have easily done that.
Yeah, he could have made it work for himself.
Yeah, easily. Like very, very easy. He could have put a Trump thing on the White House. And he could have signed it into law.
The new Trump Tower.
Yeah, he could have signed it into law that it has to stay there.
That'd be crazy.
If you remove it, it's treason. Could have done that. What else do you want to get into?
Well, you wanted to show this chart on that one you have open there.
Oh, yeah. Let's go down here. Let's see this. This is a very interesting chart to me.
Yeah, so this is the wealthiest members of Congress.
Look at that.
And it has most of the people that we just discussed as well.
Rick Scott, Mark Warner. And, you know, when you see these net worths, you're like, nah, I don't know about this. But I keep seeing Mark Warner, and it's always around 200 million to 220 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it is within that.
Yeah, and then if you flip over to the Senate side at the top there.
Yeah, that's where I'm
It's even more.
That's where I'm at right now.
Oh, that's where you're at. Okay.
Yeah, 259 million at the top.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, what's going on? Mitch McConnell, somewhere at the bottom. They're saying that he's worth 34 million.
Well, he's poor.
Yeah. That's why he switches off when he's just like his mind starts wandering. You ever seen him switch off?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he's thinking about all that money. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's thinking about how am I going to count it all?
What am I doing here? Have they built my bunker yet? I need a deep bunker before 2024 elections hit. I need a deep bunker with all the necessities. All right, let's get into this one then, I guess.
Yeah.
This one is just presidents.
Yes, and I think there's plus Al Gore.
Yeah, you had another one that you wanted to show. The only reason I wanted this one was because of Al Gore.
Okay, so let's show Al Gore from this one then.
Yeah, that was the only reason I wanted this list. Al Gore, 300 million. Now, it's funny, what made me want to show this is that Tucker Carlson was doing an interview with Jimmy Dore, and they were talking about how Al Gore's been wrong about so many things to do with climate. And Tucker Carlson brought up, he's like, yeah, and if you don't know, because he's privy to more things than Jimmy Dore is, he actually has people in the agencies that he's grown up around and et cetera, et cetera. He's like, Al Gore has a lot of, now allegedly, this is Tucker Carlson saying this, says he has a lot of stocks in Google.
Oh.
And like he said he did, not he did things for it, but he ended up getting a lot of stocks in Google. Like Tucker Carlson was kind of saying like his overlords are certain people in the tech space, in this space that will benefit from him pushing this whole climate change agenda. Which I just found very interesting. Because then when I first heard that, I was like, okay, I'm like, whatever. But then all of a sudden I see this net worth of $300 million, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Yeah.
Because he's like positioned as an environmentalist. That's what he's positioned. That's what he's been positioned at for decades.
I find it so funny, too, that he makes, like, books.
Yeah.
And that seems to be one of the most environmentally kind of unfriendly things to do.
They don't care.
Like, not only just the cutting down of trees to make paper to print books on, but like shipping them all over the world.
Yeah,
it's horrible for the environment.
He doesn't care.
And it's just like doomsday stuff all the time.
He has a private jet. What does he care?
That's so crazy.
He doesn't care.
Once
you have a private jet, you don't care about the environment.
No,
you can say
no
you
way.
do if you want.
No,
but you don't. You just don't.
Which
is fine. Like if I could have a private jet, I would.
Yeah.
100%. And I would do the podcast on the jet, and we just go places.
But you wouldn't be a hypocrite about it.
No, I wouldn't. Not at all. I'd be very happy about it. You know, Google used to have the motto, "Don't be evil."
Really?
Yeah. That used to be their motto.
Huh.
And then one day they just took it away.
I was going to say, when did they decide they wanted to be evil?
Yeah, they just took it away one day. I was just thinking to myself, like, private jet, I'd have to be like, take off this sold not for sale thing. We just call the podcast something else now.
Oh my God.
It'd be terrible. Doing movies with Kevin Hart and The Rock.
Oh no.
Kevin Hart and The Rock, and I'm in a dress. Hey. Hey.
That'd be so crazy.
Oh man. All right, what's next? This
the
next one?
article.
What's this one?
So these are talking about presidents specifically and how they made their money.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one they have listed on here is Trump. And this article is clearly, yeah.
Don't ask me about my money. You know how I've made my money. Stop asking me dumb questions.
Yeah. But this is just talking about how he lost $700 million in the presidency.
Of course.
But yeah, it doesn't say much else. It says some like really kind of critical things.
Of course. Everybody knows how Trump made his money. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
That's what he's been celebrated for in rap song after rap song and on TV show after TV show and movie after movie. Everybody knows what he does. Yep. Everybody. It only became a bad thing when he ran for president. And
then there's Obama, who was listed in that Instagram video. So he started at $1.3 million net worth and left office at $70 million. And it says the Obamas leveraged their kind of life stories and names and everything else for book deals, speaking tours, and that's how they made most of their money, as well as a brand that they built.
I guess.
That's what they say anyway.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's really all of it is really alleged.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can be like, oh, they did the darkest, deepest, evilest things, but nobody has real proof of it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. It's just, the thing is, these are positions where you're not supposed to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to, in the 8 years or 4 years you're there, or Congress, you know, you're dealing with decisions to make for your state and for the country. You're not supposed to be making an exorbitant amount of money while that's happening.
Yeah.
You're just
that's not the point.
Yeah, it's just it's not even that it's just not the point. It's counterproductive towards your decision making.
Yeah.
Cuz the thing is, and the bad thing is, as you see all these people, it's like you might see like 100 million, 200 million, and you're like, what's the big deal? It's just this and this and this. But now they're aligned with all these people who make all this money. Mm-hmm. And all these people are in different industries. They're in industries like energy and healthcare, and they're in all these different industries. And you're in these rooms now. And now all of a sudden, the decisions you make are going to impact your friends or your peers, colleagues.
Yeah.
And that's the real issue. The same way that the press and politicians are supposed to have this tension between one another. You're supposed to know that when a journalist approaches you, there's supposed to be a pressure there.
Yeah.
They're supposed to come to you and ask you things, and you're supposed to be on the ball. You're supposed to answer. You're supposed to answer truthfully. That's supposed to happen with the press. When press and politicians all of a sudden become mingling and they're like okay with each other and they're friends, that's bad for the people. And it's the same thing with politicians and people in these various industries. There's supposed to be a tension between a politician and somebody who, I don't know, makes toilets for prisons.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a tension there. It's not supposed to be like, hey, what's going on, Phil? Oh, what's going on? Oh,
yeah.
It's not supposed to be like that. I don't know. That's just what I think. I think there's supposed to be this tension between them.
That's why it's called the press.
Yeah, true. But it just in terms of politicians, like you're not supposed to be friends with all those people. You know, it goes to there's a radio show host, Wendy Williams, and there's someone named Charlemagne the God.
Yeah.
Right? And Wendy Williams kind of mentored Charlemagne. And the one thing that she showed him is that all these people in Hollywood, they're not our friends. We're going to make fun of these people. We're going to call these people out. We're going to point out their all of their weirdness. Like, we're not friends with them. Same thing with Howard Stern, why he did so well. Because when he was coming up, he was not friends with the industry. It was like, I am coming at you. Okay, and I hope you can handle it. This is what I'm doing. You see Dave Chappelle as he's doing his special. He's not, no one's off limits. Everybody in that room can feel a tension because the guy in the wheelchair just got it, and the black person just got it, and the white person's going to get a little bit when he makes fun of their voices. Everybody knows that there's a tension, a certain tension, and a comedian will relieve it a little bit, but I don't know. There's just supposed to be this boundary between certain people, certain industries. And I think politicians and most industries, they're supposed to be that.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be a politician and be like, oh, how do I get into the prison industry? It's like, no, you're not allowed. You have to make decisions properly. So you can't get involved. Howard Stern got involved with Hollywood, and look what happened to him. He became super woke because now his colleagues and peers will hear everything he says, and now he's going to have to see them. The same thing happens with Charlemagne. That's why he's sitting in front of Joe Biden, and Joe Biden's like, if you're not for me, or if you're not voting for me and you're voting for Trump, you're not black. And he's just like, okay. And he didn't say anything about it. It's because so now you've worked your way into Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's not a good place to be. I don't know. That's just me. That's my rant. Let's get into it. Sorry.
The next one on the list is George W. Bush, who was worth $20 million before and $40 million after. And they say a lot of it comes from just like speaking and stuff like that.
Joe Rogan was talking about him and how he disappeared so well. He just kind of faded away.
Yeah.
He's not
and
like
now he's
the Obamas.
like painting stuff.
Yeah, they said he was making these paintings
Yeah,
of
they
like
were
fallen
pretty
soldiers.
nice.
You saw them?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen them, but yeah, he did a good job. You know, he was one of the things that triggered me getting into conspiracies.
Really?
Yeah, because he's a part of the Skull and Bones group.
Oh, yeah.
Yale.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in it. And it's like some weird stuff. And he was asked about it. Somebody said to him, 50 Cent, his father is a part of some organization, some secret society. And it's the same one that your father's in. Can you tell us anything about it? And he's like, no. He's like, but I can acknowledge that it's true. How weird is that? 50 cents? 50 Cent? And George Bush, like their fathers, are in the same thing? And then 50 Cent was asked about it, and he was like, yeah, I can't say anything about it.
That's crazy.
You know how weird that is?
That is weird.
But yeah, Skull and Bones group, it's really, really weird. And you would think somebody who's a part of that group would be like, I'll have 10 billion. You know, like the world's kind of their platter. I'll have 10 billion. Thank you. Yeah? And then paint pictures after. All right, let's go.
The next one's Bill Clinton. So this is the one that was like, before he was worth 1.3 million, and then after is 241 million. Look
at him.
Which is absolutely insane. He's so happy with himself.
Jeffrey, over here.
That was a good voice.
Jeffrey, get over here, crazy bastard.
And then again, it just says book deals and speaking tours.
That's a lot.
It's just like the same
speaking tours.
I know, right?
You gotta do a lot, because I remember Hillary Clinton. Actually, you know, maybe you never know, because Hillary Clinton, I think at one point, I think Trump called it out. She was doing speaking she would like speak in front of like financial institutions, like that type of thing. And she was getting paid something in the six figures. Yeah, I think it was like mid six figures. Like
she's been paid $1 million before for a speech.
Really?
Yeah.
So you know, maybe they're paying Bill. I've never seen Bill really do speeches.
I don't think so. Well, he might have before. I don't know.
Maybe Hillary does them for him.
Maybe.
Like she just shows up and they're like, "Where's Bill?"
I'm here.
Hello. He had to go. He's just on a plane.
He's on vacation.
He's on a plane. He's going to an island. That's where Bill's going. Don't worry, Hillary will do it. I don't need those stupid speeches.
This is George Bush Sr. Started with 4 million and then went to 23 million.
Wow.
So he really grew the family net worth before George W. went into office.
Man, I gotta find, I think it's been scrubbed, but there's a video of him when he's old. And he's just talking about the New World Order. He's like,
oh, really?
He's like, and when we're successful, He's like, and believe me, we will be. They're looking right at the camera. And then when he passed away, have you ever seen this?
No.
He passes away. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, I think Michelle Obama, like a bunch of high-level people, the Bushes as well, they all got a letter when he passed away. And they're at the funeral, like front row, and they're all receiving this letter. So it's like, I guess it's maybe something he wrote. That's what everybody's speculation is. And they all open it. Hillary looks at it and goes,
that's
like they
crazy.
all look at it and they're like, Jesus.
Wow.
Like they all get real uncomfortable as they look at this letter.
I wonder if it was like personal blackmail or something.
Could you imagine?
That'd be crazy.
I never even thought of that.
Like my son now has this.
Yeah, right? Oh,
He's
wow.
the next.
Wow, can you imagine? His son had already been president
Okay.
before he passed away. But yeah, it was an odd thing because the Obamas were involved, right? So it was already at that point. But they all looked so uncomfortable
That's
when
so
they read
weird.
whatever it was. It was so crazy. Jeez, you look like such an Amish podcaster. You have the little
I just have a hat on my bun, just being silly.
yeah. You can keep it there. Don't worry about it.
I wasn't planning to take it off. I'm readjusting.
Oh, okay.
Ronald Reagan is the next one there. Came into office with 10.6 million, left with 15.4.
Isn't it wild that that's an honest man?
Yeah, right?
Honest guy. Just made a few million. That's it.
Well, his millions before were from like acting stuff. So
Good.
I don't think his isn't too bad.
Right?
It's not like crazy.
But see how funny that is that we're like, his isn't that too bad.
But he's still increased by like 5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's Jimmy Carter is the next one.
Oh, is there more?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot. We'll stop soon. There's just one that I wanted to point out soon.
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
2 million, 2.3 million to 10 million afterwards.
Yeah. So it says he was actually broke when he left the White House and then rebuilt his lost fortune by books and speaking gigs.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good man. Leave the White House broke, as you should. As you should. Why
Yeah.
not? I'm telling you, it should just be an electrician named John. And they're like, John, you're president. That's it. That's it. And it should just be like a random guy. Hey, Phil, we need you to run the CIA. And Phil's just like, oh my God, I don't know how to run the CIA. Can I do anything else? They're like, nope. That's what we need from you today, Phil. You got to go get briefed. Oh, God damn. I don't want those secrets in my head. Gerald Ford's the next one?
Yeah, Gerald Ford. So apparently Gerald Ford was kind of the first one to start speaking for money after, which is interesting. So all the former presidents just maybe did like book deals or something, but they weren't really expected to work after their presidency. They just kind of chilled and like, I guess, lived off of residual income.
Yeah, and I assume the U.S. government pays them money as well.
Yeah, I think
Forever.
they just get their salary forever.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy.
So that's the last one I wanted to see because he's the one that kind of like started the speaking deals.
Nixon. Wow. So interesting that a position like this has always, like, I shouldn't say always, but has been ran by millionaires
Yes.
for decades.
But the hard part about that too is like you can't really campaign without millions of dollars.
That's true.
And if you do campaign without millions of dollars, you need sponsors. And that's how you end up in a position of being kind of sold to someone.
Yeah, that's something that Vivek will not do. And I'm not sure about Trump. I'm pretty sure Trump spent his own, because they say that you need like, they throw out a number of like $400 million in order to campaign properly.
Yeah.
I think Trump's, the majority of what he lost was just him campaigning.
Yeah.
More than likely.
But again, so it's like we're going to see these people who are very well off.
And if you're not very well off, it's like you'd have to have such a rock solid moral foundation.
Yeah.
To be like, I don't want to be well off, and I just want to campaign. I don't want to get bought by anybody, and I don't want your perks and your this and that.
Yeah, but it's crazy.
But then nobody knows who you are, and you're just like the crazy independent.
Yeah.
That nobody looks at, right?
There should, like, in theory, be some kind of fund, and that gets divided equally between the two candidates at the end. And it's like, this is the amount that you get to work with, or at least like a cap.
You know what there should be? There should be nothing. There should be like, you know where the states are. You know where the buses are. Get the hell out there. That's what it should be.
But then people are going to spend their own money anyway. And then they'll be on like TV and they'll get like signs and on radios and whatever else.
No, you can't do that.
So then what are they doing? They need money to take a bus.
Yeah, you can have bus money. You can have bus fare. That's it. There's that fund you're talking about. It's just for bus fare.
Just bus fare.
Yeah. Or you get buses. Who's running? Okay, you get a bus like a comedian would.
That's like an old school bus.
Yeah, like a comedian would, you know, like Bert Kreischer. He has like a big bus he takes everywhere. Dave Chappelle, he has a big bus he takes, a tour bus. There you go.
Yeah.
You get a tour bus. You go state to state, and then you knock on doors. You want to be the president or not? That's it. That's all it should be.
Yeah.
You should have to knock on hundreds of doors and gather people up and figure out when the community barbecues are, and then go over there and be like, hey, I want to be president. Yeah, it should. It should. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. You should have to have conversations with people. I don't know, something. And then there should just be a debate. And that's the main marketing thing. Every television station will show it. It's interrupting everything. It just stops all TV. Presidential debates are going on. And that is your main marketing source. You better win that debate.
Yeah.
Done. And the debate lasts 10 hours.
10 hours.
Yep. Because they got to outline what they want to do.
Stamina.
Yeah. They got to outline it all. That's how it should be. Like, it doesn't sound fun, but it's like, it's not supposed to be a fun position.
Yeah, that's true.
And if it was like that, Trump would win again. No problem.
Yeah, probably.
Let's make it easier for public officials to be honest.
Yeah, this is an opinion piece from the New York Times. And basically this guy is talking about how they should put a ban on public officials and politicians investing in private companies.
Oh no.
What?
An episode just came out without a thumbnail. God damn it. Shit.
Okay, we'll fix it after.
Oh, I hate that.
And he says a surprising number of people who run the country can't seem to separate their private investments from their public responsibilities. They own shares in companies that they oversee. They make public policy decisions that increase the value of their private portfolios. They dance in the borderlands of illegality. And even when it's impossible to prove they've broken the law, they are clearly trampling on the public trust. Sure. So that's what this guy says. And I totally agree with it.
Yeah.
And his solution is to only allow them to invest in an index mutual fund. So basically it's just a blind investment. If you want to invest, sure, like you're still a private citizen, go ahead, but they can't pick and choose which companies they're investing in.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I think it should just be nothing.
And he goes on to say,
you're going to get paid forever? Like, no, you're good. You don't need to invest. That's for other people to do.
That's for other people to do?
Yeah, you've taken public office. Congratulations. That's for other people to do. You don't get to do that anymore.
That's so funny.
That's it. Congratulations. Miss Pelosi, is it? Congratulations.
Perfect. He went on to say as well that whenever people are questioned about potential like insider trading, they just claim ignorance. They say, there's one guy, what did he say? So it was Brooke Jackson, a federal judge in Colorado, oversaw 36 cases involving companies in which he and his wife happened to hold shares.
Wow, really?
So he told the Journal, the newspaper, he doesn't pay attention to his investments. And he said, I have preferred to stay unknowledgeable. But it's like they're just claiming this and then you can't prove anything.
Yeah, yeah. It's time to go.
Yeah.
You have to go.
And then there's somebody named Senator Loeffler, who's one of the wealthiest people ever to serve in the Senate, said that her trades were made without our input, direction, or knowledge. Even though they're like personally
there you go.
Are influenced by her.
There you go. Go to jail.
Yeah, very crazy stuff.
It's time to go to jail. Bye. Something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild. All right. Other than that, I guess we're what is this? net worth vastly increased while House Speaker.
Yeah.
I'm so glad she's not House Speaker anymore. But then that Kevin McCarthy guy, he was no good either. He actually got thrown out. First time it's ever happened in the history.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And then a person named, funny enough, Mike Johnson took his place.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So this article is saying that Nancy Pelosi was worth as much as $171 million as of this past October. And her net worth has risen by $140 million since 2008 when she joined office.
Here's what I'll say about this, okay? You guys don't like Nancy Pelosi, and I get it. But follow her trades. Just follow her trades.
Yeah, might as well make some money.
It's not right that she does it. But if you're doing it, it's fine. You're not in public office. It's completely fine. I think so. Yeah, you're fine. It's okay. You don't think so? I think it's fine.
I think it's fine.
Go ahead. Do it. Do it, man. You got nothing to lose. Put $10 in and see how fast she can turn it into $100 for you.
Yeah, I was looking at Nancy Pelosi's like trading record from even 2019. I think it went back to maybe 2020, and she had, it was like $300,000 invested in, I think it was like the top 5 companies that she was invested in, and it's currently 2.5 million.
There you go.
So $300,000 to 2.5 million over the sake of 4 years.
Yeah.
So if we even put like, I don't know, $100.
Yeah, you can
That's
make money.
great.
She knows what she's doing.
It's like
Trust
times
me.
5 almost.
I can't wait until she's like not in office anymore and she's going to be like, this is my master class. You're going to see her in like a Facebook ad, my master class.
Yeah.
Trading.
It's like first you get into office.
Can you imagine that's not even in? She just has this intricate system. She's like, you have to understand this, and you got to watch these.
And she's actually like a mastermind.
Yeah, she's actually incredible
It's
at
like
it.
that meme with Zach Galifianakis and all the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, man.
The next one you asked me to look into was Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, Lindsey. Everybody knows about Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why he pushes the war so hard. And I mean, I'll just even go over here and just, again, like I said, you can see his contributions 2017 to 2022. The top one is, top one here. Number 2, at least, is Lockheed Martin.
No, that's crazy.
You go down a little further. U.S. government, U.S. Department of Defense.
Yeah.
Right. Boeing, Blackstone, which is also BlackRock, Delta. But, you can just you can U.S. Army, like, you can just look at him and just, you understand. Once you see this, you understand completely why he acts the way he acts, and all alleged. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it kind of lines up with what he says in the media about going to war and pretty much starting World War III. He's an advocate for all of it, and like I said before, no kids, no wife, no stake in what happens 20 years from now whatsoever. Doesn't care.
If you scroll down on that article a bunch, it shows his net worth timeline.
Oh, really? Further?
Yeah, I think so. There it is. So it starts in 1995 at the bottom with $400,000, and then goes up to today with $86 million.
You know what? Good job, buddy. That's crazy. But here, if you look at I gotta find it. I was gonna find it in here. You can actually see that exact same thing. I hope they'll show it to me again. Oh yeah, here. So it's like you see this, like it's just like all flat, kind of like what you're saying, and then it just jumps up dramatically.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Past up to 100 million. So something was going on there. That was the year he went for re-election. It's every 2 years they're up for it. So 2020 bounced right up. Makes sense. He's for whatever the establishment is for.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lindsey Graham, he's like a prime example of that. But I mean, before in my mind he was a prime example of it, but now I see it's all of them. It's just everybody. Everybody, from presidents to Congress or whatever, whoever can get money in any way, all alleged, I don't know, but it seems like they're all millionaires.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's a bunch of wildly wealthy people making the decisions for people who are so far from being millionaires.
For sure.
Which is just a sad thing to have happen. Anyway, let's get into I think that's it.
You don't want to discuss Chuck Schumer quickly?
What was Chuck Schumer?
Chuck Schumer is worth...
Look at this picture.
I know, they have weird AI pictures on this website. It's $81 million. But my favorite part of this article was the one that I laughed out loud at. Under the section that says like monthly spending and taxes. It says Chuck Schumer maintains a monthly spending budget of $400,000, allowing him to enjoy a comfortable lifestyle.
That's nice.
As a responsible citizen, Schumer has paid $50,000 in taxes, contributing his fair share to the country's financial system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah. He does what he wants.
But he spends $400,000 a month.
He does what he wants. There he is.
He looks like Scrooge.
That's so funny. Yeah, Chuck Schumer, of course. But you know what? Like before we did this episode, I'd be like, wow, look at that. But now it's just like, okay, he's just like one of the medium ones.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like he's up there and, you know, we don't know about anybody's tax, what they pay, what they don't pay. But I would only assume as you make more money, you figure out more ways to pay less in tax.
Yeah, of course.
And that's okay. Once you get to a certain level, it's just okay for some reason.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy that if you make like $70,000 and you're like, I want to pay less taxes. They're like, you want to go to jail, buddy?
Yeah.
And if you're like a billionaire, they're like, whatever you can spot us.
Yeah.
How much you got? I'll give you $2 million. Yeah, sure, fine. Give us $2 million. All right, here you go. Here you go. It's so crazy.
That is crazy.
Whatever. What can you do? I tell you what you can do. You get the local guy who's a mechanic and you say you're going to be president. That's what you do. That's it. And terms are like 2 years, year and a half. Quick terms.
Then you can do anything.
You can do some stuff. These guys act like they can't do things. But again, when you see all this gridlock of opinions, it's because everybody's trying to make their money. That's what it seems like.
That's true.
Everybody's like, no, if you do this thing, it's gonna mess up my thing. And we're trying to make 8 figures this year. You're gonna mess up our thing. No, we're not helping you. Right? If it was all just regular people that didn't have any financial incentive at all, they would just be like, okay,
yeah,
let's just do what's best for the country. Is that what's best? Are we sure? Are we all sure? Okay, let's just do it. Because we're not like, no one's getting any money. Like, who cares? All these people would walk out. All the people that we've shown, there was no incentive whatsoever financially.
Yeah, that's true.
They'd be like, I'm not doing that.
Especially the ones that have like $300 million. Like, why are they there?
They would rip their ties off. Man, I'm out of here is bullshit. Not doing this. But yeah, anyway. That's it. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I am so eager to make that thumbnail. I hate when I put out a video without a thumbnail. I feel naked. I feel naked right now.
Naked video out.
Yeah, right? Other than that, guys, we are out.
Bye.